Well, good evening, everyone. This is Tom here. Welcome to Cab Crew Wednesday on this July 2nd, 2025. Hope everybody's doing well. Say hello to everybody. Ronald, how you doing? Welcome. James, how you doing? I know you had to do something else for a minute, but if you're here, hello. Dwight Curley's here. How you doing, Dwight? And Mike from across the pond. How you doing, Mike? Welcome. And Lee's here. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. More comments. And Papa John is here. Hey, Papa John, how you doing? Yeah. So I got some trains running. I was running the outside the subway train earlier, but I just found a new problem with it, so I got to check that out after the show. Um, I think I might have picked up something on a track and it caused it to short. It's in a bad spot, so I don't want to mess around with it right now. But I got the passenger train running down on the first level. You can see that in the middle camera on the lower cameras down there. That's going around. I've been playing around with that. I just have to adjust some of the things to get it to stop at the train station properly. And the subway train on the inside track is running, and it stops at the stations now. So you can see a station here, and then there's a station right there. So as it gets to those spots, you'll see it. And he just keeps coming around, and so there's a passenger train. So had a lot of issues. Couldn't get, I don't know if you can hear the horn in the background. That's the train starting out. So um, the reed switches, like I put in my last train automation video, I talked about it a little bit, but the reed switches were not very reliable. The only reed switch that works is the one for this passenger train down in the bottom there. The ones up on the subway system, for some reason, they weren't working. So what I did is I got some NCE BD20s, and they can be hooked up to the mini panel, and now they're working. So it's a lot better now with the NCE BD20s. So I didn't have to run any new wire. But what I had to do was isolate the track. And what I was going to do was put it at the end of the train station. So when the engine hit that spot, it would stop dead right there. But then I thought about it. I says, wait a minute. All the cars in that train are lighted and they draw track power. So they're going to mark the block. So what's going to happen is the train starts out, then it's going to stop again because the block is active. So I said, okay, I got to move my detection at the beginning of the station. And that was a lot easier. Well, almost a lot easier. So you can see the train came to a stop right here at this train station. It's sitting there now. It'll sit there for a minute and then it'll take off again. And then I'll talk about the sound stuff afterwards. But so what was happening is I had to take the track out. And fortunately enough, at the beginnings of the train stations, there was a 9-inch piece of track there. And that made it easier. But on the outside track, before the 47th Street station, which you can't see on the screen right now. There's a turnout there, then a 9-inch piece of track. Well, that 9-inch piece of track was part of that turnout, which was its own block. So I had to do a lot of rewiring of that section. And what I had to do is take the 9-inch piece out, solder 2 wires onto it for feeders, run that through the BD20, and get it, polarity and all that stuff checked out, and it all worked. But doing so, when I took out the track, now I had this track glued down in spots, not everywhere, just in some spots. And what happened was when I took the track out, some of the other track moved a little bit. And when I put it back together, I didn't notice that much. And then when I was running the trains, they were derailing and all kinds of craziness. And so I had to get everything solidified, and I glued everything. On this here, you can see I have fillers here. I had to elevate that track there. Whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. And I had to elevate this track here. And there's a nice big piece of section there to elevate it. So that's what I had to do, things like that. So that's why you don't see a lot of the tunnel pieces, because I had to take them out because I had to work on all this stuff. So I took them all down so I can work on it easier and stuff like that. So it's just, here comes the train now, and he's going into 34th Street. That's 34th Street station that the train's in now. So it was a long drawn out process, but the BD20s, I tested them the first time after putting them in, and they all registered on the mini panel properly. The reed switches, not so good. So, and in the BD20s, I have a lot of BD20s for all my blocks and everything. So I know how to hook them up, and it was easy. And I already had the wire run down to the mini panel. All I had to do is connect that to the new BD20. So I didn't have to do too much wiring. Just had to hook up the 2 feeders to the track bus line, and that was it. So now those tracks are good. And so I took the magnets off of the 1 passenger train, or 1 subway train that's running now around. I took the magnets off of that train, and I bet you the reason why the other train, it might have picked up something and caused a short, because those magnets are still on that train. That train is, I'm waiting for my soundtracks decoder to come back, and then I can upgrade that engine, then I can automate that. Now, the sound system, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's making announcements for the passenger train that's running down on this level. So he's at the train station right now, and he's going to leave in a minute or so. So I put the sound modules in DCC mode. They don't work with interrupt. So I have a background sound for the subway system, and I have a background sound for down below in a lower level, road noise, cars and trucks going by and all that kind of stuff. Up there is all subway system background noise. But the interrupt, so that would be playing, and then the announcement would come in. It should interrupt the announcement, the background noise, play the announcement, and then it would And when the announcement's done, then the background noise would come back on. Well, that doesn't work in DCC mode. And that wasn't their intention when they designed it to work on DCC mode. So after some thoughts, I sent them an email and I came up with an idea, and they said, yeah, that'll work. And they had the products for it. So I ordered it from them on Monday. And what it is they're sensors, and they sit on side of the track. So I'm going to put them up on the subway system. They're only about that tall. They're HO scale. They're a mile marker. They look like a mile marker sign. And you just lay that right on it. You drill a hole, put the wires through, and connect that to the sound module with one wire. And that goes to the track that you want to play. So I'll have three of them sensors per station, 2 for arrivals and 1 for departing. Because I found out they can handle going across 2 tracks if it's less than 5.5 inches apart. Now, some spots you can see here that looks like it's more than 5.5 inches than it is. But at the train station, they're closer together. So I had to bring them closer together so that the cars would be right up against the platforms, but not hitting them. So I made them closer together. So the sensor for departing when the train goes across either track, it'll trigger that announcement that the train is departing and next station is whatever it's going to be. So that's what's coming. So I ordered them on Monday. So then I emailed them, and because the last time I ordered the modules from them, it took a long time because they had to make them and everything before they could ship them out. So I ordered them on Monday. I sent them an email and said, hey, are these going to be made, or do you have them in stock? When will I be notified? And then about a half an hour later, they said it's going to be shipped today. So I noticed on my phone app for UPS that they created a shipping label for them. Now that was Monday. That was the 30th. Today is the 2nd. That's 2 days ago. And the UPS still hasn't picked up the package yet. So it probably won't be here until next week now, because Friday's a holiday. Nobody's going to be working on Friday, 4th of July. So I won't get them until next week, I guess. I was hoping if they shipped them out on Monday, that UPS would have picked them up Monday night. That was early in the morning. UPS usually comes around in the evening to pick up packages. And then I would have had it here probably on Saturday, but no luck. So I just said, okay, well, next week. I can't do any prep work for them because what's coming is a power module. And the power module allows you to plug in the sound controllers into the power module. It's a 12-volt power supply device. And then you can control the sound modules through this power. And then the sensors get connected to the module, the power module also. So a little wiring will have to be done to get that all accomplished and everything. And so I didn't order enough sensors for the first level because those announcements are working through DCC, but I have a background noise down there, And that's what I meant by I was messing around with the routine for the lower level. And that's why it's not stopping at the train station. Because when I put all the code in my mini panel for the sound, to turn on the sound, turn off the sound, turn on this, that. Now, that was a lot of code that I had to add to each routine that I created for the trains to run. And this subway train that's running now, I had it running. It would only go to the first train station, and then it would stop, and then it wouldn't run any further. So I don't know what's going on. Try to figure it out. Can't figure out anything what's going on with it, right? So I did some research and stuff like this, and I found out about speed steps because I set up a test routine to run that subway train in the mini panel. Just 4 lines of code, boom, 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 and it acted the same way. So I had an idea. I said, maybe I got to force it to go in 128 mode because that's what Soundtracks recommends you run. If you got a Tasami 2 decoder, they recommend you run in 128 mode. And because you can get more realistic action out of 128 mode than you can in 28 mode or 14 mode. Well, in the NCE world, you can't access 14 mode anymore. I don't know about Digitrax, but NCE mode, you only have 28 and 128 modes on your power cap. So you hit the button and then you can run it in whatever speed step. And so there's certain percentages. Each mode, 14, 28, or 128, has a certain percentage of 100 of the speed of the engine. So, and how you get there. So I was running the subway train at speed step 10. That's speed step 10 is going by the screen there right now. That's speed step 10. And in 28 mode, I would hit speed step 10 and it would be going that fast. But it wasn't working from the mini panel properly. So I said, okay, let me change. In the mini panel, you can select the speed of the engine in either 28 mode or 128 mode. Well, the train automation guy that I've been working with, he always told me use 28 mode, but he's using, and all the people that he's working with are using larger scales, and maybe that works better for the larger scales. So I talked to Soundtracks, and they said, I said, well, I'll use 128 mode. I tried that, and then the engine worked fine. It took off. Now it's going around. You can see it going around, leaving the station. Everything is working fine. The only problem then was it would start out. I have 47th and 50th Street station. I have 34th Street station, and I have 42nd Street station. There are the 3 subway stations on my subway system. All the trains start at 47th Street, and 47th Street is right outside of my office, so I can get up there, and if I have to move the train or do something with it, work on it or whatever, I can get it easy. The other 2 stations are harder to get at, but I can get to them, but they're harder to get at. So I start them out at 47th Street. So it's a long haul from 47th to 34th. So it would take off from 47th Street, and then I had my speed meter in the track, and this is how I figured out how to get the speed to be equal to at 128. Was I ran that through at 28 at 10 speed step 10, and it was 40 miles an hour on that meter, that device. And so I ran the train at 128 mode, and it went through, and I had to adjust it a few times before I got it to equal 40 miles an hour. So speed mode 28 at speed step 10 is equal to speed mode 128 at speed step 42. So in my mini panel, I changed it to use speed step 128, and then I used 42 for the speed step. So hey Floyd, welcome. I didn't see you there. Welcome, Floyd. So it took me a while to figure all that out. So I got it all working, and the train, I ran the train manually, and the train ran around smooth, no problems at all. But I ran it through the mini panel, and it would go from 47th Street, and it would stop at 34th Street. And then when it left 34th Street, it hesitated. I go, why is it hesitating? And then it would leave there, and then it would continue to go. It would just hesitate for a split second and take off. And you see, if you watched my automation video I just put out the other day, you would see the hesitation there. Then it gets to 42nd Street, and it did the same thing when it left 42nd Street. But it didn't do it at 47th to 50th Street station. It just continue and go. No hesitation. So back to looking at the track again. So I cleaned the track in that section real good. I put my fingers on the rail, didn't feel anything. This is 42nd Street. That was the easier one to do. Did that one first. Nothing. I ran the train around again. I watched it. And then I noticed something. Right where the train was stopping and hesitating, not stopping, just hesitating, the wheel was hitting right where I soldered a feeder wire to. And this was been soldered on there a long time. I don't know what's going on with that. So what I did is I turned off the system, took my filed down the solder better. Then I have a block of wood that has a washer on it, a round washer, and I put that washer, and then I run that washer over the track. That brings it back after you file the track down. So it's a regular washer, and just go over it with the washer, and it revives the track. Then after that, I clean the track, and then ran through there, no hesitation. So then I came over to 34th Street, cleaned the track. Then I put my finger on it, and I felt something on there. So then I took my, not a Bright Boy, but I got this stuff from DCC Concepts. It's a block. You cut it off. I cleaned that off. Then I had nice and smooth, but it still hesitated over there. And guess what? Same exact thing that was on 42nd Street. There was a soldered wire there. And so I filed that one down, rubbed it with the washer again, cleaned it again, and it was smooth sailing from there. So it might have been just a little itty bitty bit of solder that was on the top of the rail that I never saw. It's silver track, solder, silver, I don't know. So, and so it's So that was the problem. So now it's running smooth. So, and I guess I don't know. I don't know if anybody's seen the passenger train go around. I haven't. I hear beep beep beep, but it's probably sitting at the station. So, uh, so that's what I've been working on. So back to the sound modules. Um, when they come, then I can install the sensors before the station. And then when the train comes by, it'll trigger that sensor, and then that'll send a signal to the sound controller to play the um, uh, they will trigger uh, the announcements and stuff like that. So that's what I've been busy trying to get working, and getting the subway system operational. Almost over a week I spent trying to get that. Caught some nice fast ones. Skull. Who's Skull? I don't know who's Skull. Oh, John. Hey, John, welcome. Schuylkill Valley. Yeah, Schuylkill Valley. Yeah, that's right. That's not how you spell it, Papa John, but it's close enough. But I get your meaning. So that's what I've been doing, and just playing around. And then what I got to do is put in these toggle switches, these kind of toggle switches, and then this will trigger with the wire connected to the sound module. That'll trigger the background noise. So when I turn on a train, flip this toggle switch and turn on the background sounds, and then they'll get interrupted when they're connected to a 12-volt power supply. So a lot of things you have to figure out sometimes. So, but yeah, I just took pieces of printed filament and stuck them under the track here. Use my table saw and cut them as thin slices, and then I could stick them under the track, and that kept the track smooth through there in this spot here where my mouse is showing. That was like a container car roof that I wasn't using, so I just cut it, and it was the right thickness, and it worked. So go get him, Floyd. So I didn't miss anybody, did I? Yeah, I had. Oh, the subway train is stopped. I mean, the passenger train is stopped here. I can see the last passenger car. I wonder why it stopped there. I have to check that out later too. But the subway train it just keeps running. So he's at one of the other train stations we can't see here. Let's see, this one here. See if he's down here. Yep, there he is. He's at 42nd Street right now. Now he's taking off. So, I mean, now I stopped at 47th and 50th Street. So, right here, there's supposed to be a signal, and the green light on that signal wasn't working. So I took that signal out, and I had two others in my closet here. I put one in, I tested it, and all of the green lights worked. And then all of a sudden, it stopped working. No green. Took it out, put another one on there. The green worked, but then the red and the yellow didn't work. So today I took out the signal and the light it, and I put it on the workbench, and I couldn't get it to I couldn't get it to go to work on the workbench either. So then I 3D printed my own 3-lens dwarf signal and put that together, tested all the lights, they all worked, hooked it up to the light it, and only the green works. So I got to rewire the lights in there and try it again. I'll work on that tomorrow again. And I still got the bridge one to fix. So it's just a couple of little odds and ends. But trying to get the trains to run was the more important thing. So I'm going to make myself bigger for a minute. Here on my workbench, I always had this piece of track. And I always use my KD height coupler device, and I put it on the track. Then I would roll the rolling stock to test out the tracks. Well, I was going through my NCE box that I have in my closet behind me, and it did. I found this other panel. I didn't realize I had it, so I hooked it up to my desk, and now I have track power here, so I can plug in my NCE power cab, not the Power Pro. This is the power cab. This is the 2-amp system. I plug it into there. The red light comes on. You probably can't see that from that angle, but on there I have that, and then my little blue man. You can see the blue light light up. My hand has to be on it. There you go. So now I have track power at my desk here in the office. So if I want to test something like a light it or something like that, I can go on here and test and light it and all that stuff. So that was pretty easy. And I had to 3D print a special bracket that I could attach this to the glass desk. So then I have a workbench out there that I can plug this power cabinet into and have track power out there or track power here in the office. So it makes it a lot easier. Hey, Kyle, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. So that's what I've been working on. And it's been keeping me busy. So, see, I would go out and check them trains, but I don't want to leave the off. And I'd be out there in a minute. They're not running, so I'm not worried about them. There's magnets on the bottom of this passenger train too, so maybe it picked up something. Who knows? taking out all these panels and stuff, and doing things. God knows what may have fallen on the track, and the train picked it up and caused it. So we got one train out of the three running now. I could run some of the other trains too, but they want to get too complicated for the first night of running trains. So, is anybody else working on their layouts? I saw James put up a video today about his drawbridge. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I was too busy, but I'll take a look at it later, James. And I've been working on his expansion. I've been watching those, moving along there. You got to put more green down on that section there, Kyle. I think you fixed the lift out. Very good, James. Yeah, you were having trouble with those. I don't know what they are, the bushings or whatever. They weren't making good contact or something. Yeah. Yeah. So, can you guys hear that horn blowing? Can anybody hear the horn blowing? I wonder if I. It's hold on, I can't put the video. I can't put the sound on the cameras because my voice will echo over. So I said, Kyle, are you going to put the green on that new section you put in? Hey, Ken, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Mike, who's Mike? I missed, oh, Mike. And so it's been fun playing around getting the trains to run, let me tell you. Now I can, once I get the other train on the subway system automated and running, then after that, I'll put the panels back up. I got them all in a box right now. So, yeah, it's been interesting. So I've been I've been watching a few videos on YouTube about how to bring your watch hours up and what to do and what not to do in your videos and all this stuff. So I'm going to try some of the methods and see if it helps. Some of the guys are out there talking about how to do this and how to do that. A couple of Walters kits, yeah. Walters kits are fun to put together. I have a few Walters kits on my layout too. Oh, you can barely hear the horn, John. Thanks. Yeah. Well, I'm in my office, and the train room was right outside my office. I can hear it real good in here. I didn't know if it was resonant over the the speaker, through to the internet and stuff. But if I turn the sound on the camera, which I can do, when I hear the bell doing, I'll turn that on there. And then you can tell me if you can hear it. Be another minute. Because if I talk, it'll echo. Oh, you know why? I got to present the screen again. Let me see. Let me remove. Okay. So once it gets out of the next station, then I'll turn the sound on the camera again to see if we can hear it. Be interesting to see if you guys can hear that. Okay, good. You heard it. Good. So that means I can, but I can't talk when I don't talk when I have them on because it'll just feedback. A bit distorted, yeah. That's the trouble with trying to play sounds across a stream like this. So that's good though. It's at least you can hear something. That engine has a scale sound system speaker in it, and oh no, I'm sorry. No, that does. That has its original. That's an MTH engine that's running that subway car. That's the one I converted to use the soundtracks decoder, and it that's the original speaker that came with it. The small SW 1000, I put a scale sound speaker in that, and that sounds really good. So yeah, those speakers, trackside Mike told me about those, and they're really good. They're really good speakers. Highly recommend them. If you're going to do any installs of a new engine and you want sound in it, I would put in that speaker, brand speaker. And he makes them that fit into your engine. So when you go to his website, you look at it, and you have a GP38. You look at GP38, and it shows you, and he makes the baffles to fit in a GP38. So I have a small, I have an SW 1500 that the speaker in there is not that great. So maybe one day I'll switch that over to a scale sound system speaker. I got that engine finally running nice. So, that's what that is, you know. So that's what I'm playing around with a lot of, and I got a few engines on the workbench that I got to work on and get them working. But I got a couple. I got one with have a decoder for it. Just haven't had a chance to work on it yet. And the other one, the decoder is that soundtrack, so I'm waiting for that to come back. And I have an SD uh, the dual engine DD40 that I need to get working again. So yeah, there it comes around again. So yeah, so that's what's going on there, and it's just been busy. Anybody got any big plans for the 4th of July? Two more days. Picnic time for me. Nope. So today, just tinked around a little bit, trying to get that one signal to work. Uh, got to rewire the lights in that one, like I was saying earlier. So then we had a lot of rain here recently, and I look out my window and I see the downspout, the water is coming out of it and everything. So I went up to the, I got out my ladder and went on the roof today, and I looked at it, and it was all a bunch of uh, leaves and sediment in there. And I have a guard that goes across the gutter to keep the leaves from going in, but some of it popped up and the leaves got snuck in there somehow. So I cleaned it all out. And fireworks tonight. Yeah, there's been fireworks here all week long. My dog, it doesn't bother him at all. I can hear all the other dogs in the neighborhood barking and carrying on. I guess they're afraid of the fireworks. So they'll be going on all week long, probably all weekend long too. So yeah, so I was up there and I had a bunch of tree limbs, small ones on the roof. That I only have one tree in my yard, and it's in the front yard, and it's a pretty big tree. So it's always dropping stuff on the ground, twigs. So I use those twigs to make my birch trees on my layout. So I take them little twigs and um, the I use them twigs to make the birch trees. I just paint them white and put black dots on them and put some greenery on them, and I got a birch tree. So I got plenty of them. And but last night we had a pretty big rainstorm, thunder and lightning, and the winds were around 40 miles an hour. No big deal. Everybody thinks 40 miles an hour around here is a lot. I was in Key West for 3 years, and I saw 140, 150 mile an hour winds. So They don't know what it's like up here. So 40 miles an hour is nothing, just a breeze to me. And um, a big branch came down, and all I do is put it out in the street, and then the crew comes and they clean off the street every so often. So they'll pick it up and put it in the back of their truck. So it's pretty nice. When I cut the grass, I have to go around the front yard and pick up all the twigs before I cut the grass, because I don't want a piece of wood flying out of the mower and breaking one of my windows or hitting somebody, car going by or something like that. So I have to clean up the yard every time before I cut the grass out there. Backyard, no debris, and so I ordered this. My weed whacker is out of commission right now because I can't get it to rewind up a new string. You cut a string 15 feet long, and then on your weed whacker you have two holes where the string comes out, right? So you have two pieces of string going around. But you put the string through one hole and you feel it through until it comes out the other hole, and then you pull it halfway through, and then there's a ratchet thing on the thing. It won't catch it, and it won't go, and it won't go in. So I said, that's very frustrating. So I said, okay. I was on YouTube or on Facebook, one of the two. I saw an ad. No, it was YouTube. No, Facebook. It was an ad for a device that you can add onto your weed whacker that you never have to change the string ever again. It has, they have two different models. One has three spokes on it. The other one has 5 spokes. So I got all the 5 or 6, I don't remember. And it has all these spokes on it, and it's metal. So you don't have to replace, it'll do work for a real long time. And it adapts to any weed whacker. So I looked at mine, I don't know how it's going to adapt until I get it. So company shipped it out of China, and it took 5 days to go from China to JFK in New York City. 5 days. That was pretty quick for something coming out of China. Then I saw I was tracking the tracking number. I saw that it was in JFK. It arrived at JFK on the 29th of June. Right? Yeah, 29th of June. And then Monday, it cleared customs. So 2 days to clear customs. That's normal. So things must be getting better. But I haven't seen any movement on it since it cleared customs. The same thing with the UPS package down in Florida. Hey, Todd, welcome. You're never too early and you're never too late, Todd. So it doesn't make sense how there's no movement on the package. And, I know this is a holiday week and maybe people are on vacation. But still, I told you guys before, I used to work for Federal Express and I used to drive truck for Federal Express and I delivered packages. and I picked up packages, and I had security clearance, and I used to be able to go into Newark Airport, go in the back there area, security areas, and pick up certain product to bring back to the station. So I had all that security clearance and stuff like that. So, and I worked holidays. I worked Christmas Day. I worked Thanksgiving Day. I worked, all the holidays at Federal Express. I worked those days. So what's going on today? Nobody wants to work anymore? I don't know. No. Yeah, package. Hey, Mike, welcome. Yeah, package movement is a dark art now. Yes, that's true, Mike. Good to see you in here. Yeah, so it's like, um, you know, what's going on? Is it? I'm not gonna say any more about it, but it's just strange. I get excited when I get an email from the company that I bought something from that the package has been shipped. Now, when they say it's going to be shipped today, doesn't that mean it's going to be shipped today? Or does that just mean, well, it's going to be shipped sometime after today? I don't get it. You tell me you're going to ship something today, I expect you to ship it today, not 4 days from now, not 2 days from now, not 3 days from now. Who knows? So that's my rant for the evening. Shipments. And I'm the only one that can rant because I used to work for a shipping company, so I can rant about the shipments. And my ex-wife's father used to work for the post office. He worked there for a real long time. And he told me the shenanigans that go on in the post office, and God rest his soul. But they used to work a lot differently than they do today. So it's getting worse. Prices are going up, and the service is getting worse. But that's why I choose either FedEx or UPS. It's a lot more expensive for shipping, but I'd rather have it so I know when it's going to come instead of just guessing. Yeah. I can understand, Todd, coming from a different country because packages that come in from different countries have to go through customs. And that's usually a 2-day process. That's what I've ordered things from England, and I've ordered things from China, and same thing. Comes in to JFK, arrives 2 days later, it is cleared customs, always takes 2 days. Don't ask me why, but back in December or earlier this year, it was taking weeks to go through customs. So it's just, things between countries, you have to, realize that you have to go through customs, and it takes, my experience has been just 2 days to get through customs. Now, so that's what I know about that time. And like when I worked for FedEx, we had international packages, and people were sending things all over the world, and FedEx had its own planes, so it didn't matter as much, but it still had to go through. You still had to have all the proper paperwork for an international package to go, and you know, identification of what the product is in the box and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember all the forms, but we used to hate when we get someone say, "Oh, we want to send out an international." Then you had to check all the paperwork was there and everything, because if it wasn't there, their package wasn't going to go anywhere. So, but that was my experience with the international going outwards, working with FedEx and stuff. So, yeah, it's been fun. So, anybody else have any questions for me? I think I might call it a quick night. I haven't seen Heath on here. I don't know if he's going live tonight, but he usually goes after I do. And let me see here. This oh no, this is junk mail. Okay, John, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend and enjoy your 4th of July. We'll catch you all later. Heath is not doing live tonight. Okay, very good. So, okay, Ronald, thanks for stopping in. Everybody, appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hello and spending time with me here tonight. Hope everybody has a safe and great 4th of July weekend. And we'll catch you all in the next stream next week. And let's all support each other in all the ways that we can. Thank you very much and have a good night. Take care.